Therefore, it has become imperative to learn about good debt and bad debt. So if in one part of the world they are insisting on the use of credit, it means credit is coming upon us. Do you understand? And the use of credit has favored those that understand the difference between a good debt and a bad debt. Okay? So if there's access to credit, there are financially intelligent ways to make it work for us. Hello, family worldwide. How you doing? How is it going? How's your entrepreneurial journey? How's the process? And how are the teachings for you? Please put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section right now. How are they going? How the teachings impacting your life? Are they good? Are they awesome? Do you have questions? Do you want to focus on one area of your business or the other? Do you understand? Because we are having fun and we are growing. The Divine Entrepreneurial Community is expanding. The Lord is faithful to us in this community. We pray and we believe that you are also growing in the knowledge of business, applying it practically and gaining thereby. My name remains Dr. Odum, and I am your host on the Divine Entrepreneur. You are most welcome. Happy Sunday. Today we're going to be discussing a topic I title good debt versus bad debt. Good debt versus bad debt. Now, we're going to be gleaning from the knowledge of Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay? Awesome stuff, awesome light, awesome insights. There's so much that is practical in that book, right? Now, good debt versus bad debt. The Bible kicks against debt. The Bible talks about the borrower being the servant of the lender. Personally, I'm not an advocate of loans. I don't like loans. I don't like borrowing. I don't like it, especially because of the spiritual concept, the spiritual principle that the borrower is always the servant of the lender. That is so deep on all levels, especially spiritually, especially because it is from the Bible. I don't want to be a servant in any way. Do you understand? So there have been businesses that have grown without loans. However, in this part of the world, I'm from Lagos City, Nigeria. Lagosians, make some noise. Nigerians, make some noise. Okay, let's make it pop. Let's make it pop in the comment section. Okay, if you're a Lagosian, put an emoji, right, on the comment section. In this part of the world, there is limited access to credit. Credit in terms of loans, there's limited access to that. Do you get? The system in this part of the world does not operate on credit cards majorly. No, we operate cash and carry, pay as you go, debit cards. Okay. However, in other parts of the world, they even insist that you must use a credit card. Some facilities insist. Like hotels, there's some hotels, high-end hotels, that don't collect anything except a credit card. Therefore, it has become imperative to learn about good debt and bad debt. So if in one part of the world they are insisting on the use of credit, it means credit is coming upon us. Do you understand? And the use of credit has favored those that understand the difference between a good debt and a bad debt. Okay, so if there's access to credit, there are financially intelligent ways to make it work for us. Therefore, the topic good debt versus bad debt.
What if I told you that 100,000 naira could unlock 1 million naira for you in just 90 days?
We're talking 90 days of business coaching and mentoring to help you build your business. We'll give you access to our business blueprint that teaches you how to generate leads, nurture them, and convert these leads to massive sales.
Introducing the 90-day Divine Entrepreneur Challenge.
I know you might be wondering, what if I didn't make that 1 million in 90 days? Now, here is the deal. If you show up, do the work, follow all the blueprint, and you still don't hit that 1 million, guess what? Your money will be refunded 100%. And not just that. So, as a way of saying thank you for trusting the process, you get to get that courses from the Divine Entrepreneur Seller account.
Starts Sunday, May 25th, 2025, and registration is now open.
Use the link in the comment section to get started.
This offer is for the first 100 businesses that sign up. This is not a guess, not a gamble. It's a strategy. The best part, you do not need millions to start. You just need your willingness to act.
And most importantly, guaranteed ROI. Like, make 10 times your money in just 90 days.
We train, we guide, you work, you win.
Now, what's the plain definition of a good debt? What's the plain definition of a good debt, right? Let's see it versus that of a bad debt, right? The basic distinction is what? A loan that lets you acquire an asset that generates cash flow. Do you understand? A good debt is a loan that lets you acquire an asset that generates cash flow. Alright? And that cash flow is in excess of the loan payments. Okay? So Rich Dad teaches the principle of rental income as a passive income. It is solid. It is solid. Many multi-millionaires were born from rental income. Now, this is the way this is it broken down very simply. Let me use this side to illustrate, right? If you get a loan of 50 million, you go for a loan of 50 million, and that loan, you want to pay back that loan and you want to acquire an asset, okay, that would generate. So if you are going to be paying back that loan, let's say you want to pay back that loan in 10 years, right? You want to pay back the loan in 10 years. So that means your yearly repayments, right, would be what? What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would be 5 million naira yearly. This is just analogy, right? Rough estimate. Okay, so you acquire a loan for 50 million, and yearly you are meant to pay 5 million. Of course, with interest, but I'm just making this an arbitrary figure. And then you acquire a property. You use this 50 million to acquire a property of, let's say, 35 million naira. You use the 50 million to acquire a property of 35 million naira, and then pay the damages and stuff, okay, to the tune of about 5 million or so. Do you understand? And then of course maybe other charges or whatever, 10 million etc. You apportion it appropriately and accordingly. The point is, you see this yearly income, this yearly repayment you must make to the bank, right? You must be making a rental income on that property of more than 5 million. it has to be greater than this 5 million. So it has to be like maybe 7 million or anything greater than this 5 million for it to make sense to collect that loan. Hence, you're going to be making 2 million per year. Do you understand? For every year you have to repay that loan. That's just an arbitrary figure. So many, and the way it works abroad is that you can actually make a down payment. That's why credit works over there. You can actually make a down payment. So you want to get a loan of 50 million, for example, they can tell you to make a down payment of 10 million. Okay, you make a down payment of 10 million, and then you have access to the whole entire 50 million. Right? The point is that it must generate cash flow in excess of the loan payments. So I made it broad and yearly. Loan payments are actually done monthly generally. Do you understand? So that's just an arbitrary example to point to you the use of this. The reason people don't go for good debt is what? Lack of financial education. Lack of financial education. You are not educated on the topic, and I, for one, am guilty of that. Okay, the reason I run away from good debt, I might not run forever, who knows, right? And of course, because it's not easily accessible in this part of the world, I just shy away from it and look for other sources of income generation apart from debt. Okay, that might change in 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, even next month. Okay, however, there is no bad investor. I mean, there's no bad investments. We have bad investors. And what makes them bad is what? Lack of financial education. So the reason you don't want a good debt, the real reason is because you lack education on how to maximize the cash flows. It's a lot of work. What I just described there is a whole lot of work. It takes a lot of study and tenacity. Okay? So if you want to get into real estate is a game for big boys. And you must be what? Financially educated, very, very financially educated for you to blossom, right? So, what is a bad debt? A loan that is secured merely to permit instant gratification. Instant gratification. Do you understand? Okay. And will not create cash flow in excess of the loan. Okay, so a very good example of a bad debt is collecting a loan to travel for a vacation. Okay, so that vacation is not leading to cash flow. It's a bad debt. You get, you collect a loan to buy a fancy car like a Ferrari, and that fancy car is not generating cash flow in excess of the loan amount. That's a bad debt, and that's where people go bankrupt. Okay, so this is where financial education is so important. This is the fundamental difference between a good debt and a bad debt. With good financial education, you can take advantage of good debt. That's what many millionaires that came from real estate just did. They took advantage of financial education and are using debt to their advantage. Do you understand? However, there are situations where bad debt is necessary. Okay, there are real life situations where bad debt is necessary, and we're going to point that out now. Okay, because we are not living in la la land, we are living in a real world with real challenges, real life issues. We have children, we have parents, we have dependents, right? Those are quite important. So when bad debt is necessary, when bad debt, according to our definition, is necessary, okay, when is bad debt necessary, right? When is bad debt necessary? So there are situations where taking on a debt to acquire or maintain a non-income producing asset is necessary. It makes sense, right? So number one, taking on a mortgage in order to purchase a home for you and your family. Your family needs to live somewhere, right? So taking on a mortgage for your family, okay, is a necessary bad debt. All right. Number two, taking on a short-term loan for medicine or medical treatments. Okay, let's just put it as medical treatments. All right. It's only someone that is well that can do business. Okay, so you might need to take a loan for medical treatment. That is a non-income producing endeavor, but it is so necessary, right? So you might take a loan for yourself, medical treatment for yourself, or for a close family member. Okay, it's another situation where bad debt is necessary. Now, if you have young children, okay, and you need to take a soft loan to build a fence around your house, right, to prevent them from wandering into the street, do you understand, to protect them from strangers coming in to trespass unnecessary, right? That is another situation where bad debt is necessary. Okay, as another situation where bad debt is necessary. Now, in summary, ending this particular series on time and cash. Remember, we've been talking about the interplay between money and time, right? And we also said that the process, remember, is more important than the goal. Okay, the process is more important than what? The goal. Who you become in the process of achieving your goals is more important than the goal itself. Okay, who you become is much more important, right? And the most important processes are what? Cash management and what? Time management. Cash management and time management wraps up these concepts beautifully. Okay, so keep your cash and time under control and focus on your future. Your business will continue moving towards your goals. Okay, so have a lockdown on cash and time management. Remember all the things we've discussed, and your business will keep moving towards the goal. You understand? So the process involves mastering cash management and time management. You understand? Focusing more on the future and getting a team to help you focus on the past and present activities. Okay? That is what the process involves. right? So if you focus more on your future, keep these ones under control, and then focus more on your future, your business will head towards your goals. Wow. It's been a mouthful today. It's been an awesome time with you. Thank you so much. My name remains Dr. Podum. Don't forget to join us every Thursday by 7 p.m. WAT, and we're back here again Sunday 7 p.m. WAT. Alright, 7 p.m. on Thursdays we drop professional videos, so check that out this Thursday. Check out what we are actually doing this particular Thursday, okay? And I'll see you again next week, okay? I love you, but God loves you more.